Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Car Mechanics Simulator 2018. My name is jfavignano. We're going to continue this playthrough of our little story mode we got going on here. And here's our garage. Still doing okay. I'm trying to think of anything new. Oh, I did get a tablet. A lot of you guys asked me to get a tablet, so I did, so we don't have to come over here to the computer every time to do shopping. And I also learned how to use the parts list. Now, a thing with the parts list is that when you open it up, you'll notice there's nothing in there, obviously. But if you delete any little small part from the list, it will clear the whole menu. And that's a well-known bug a lot of people have said they don't like in the game. But regardless, let's go ahead and jump in. What do we got here? Let's start with something. Sloppy car steering list provided. Let's take this order. I said we'll do a blue order, so we will eventually. But let's check out this SUV first. Probably gonna have to take this on the test path, honestly. The parts list, they said an inner tie rod is all it needs. Really? Okay. If that's all it needs, then let's go ahead and throw it up onto the lift and we'll go from there. All right. And a big thanks to somebody who showed me with how to use the car lift correctly. You can hold the left mouse button down like that and it will drop it all the way to the floor. I didn't think you could do that, but now I know you can. So that's really cool. All right, let's lift it back up. Redundancy. Bring it all the way into the air. And they said it was a left tie rod on this thing. No, they just said tie rod, essentially. Inner tie rod. So it's one of the tie rods. We can go into suspension mode here and let's figure out which one it is. In the examination mode, here's a tie rod right here. Let's see if that one's the one. That's 75%. That one's not too bad. Let's go check this one over here. Ooh, that inner tie rod looks bad. That's the one that it is. Okay, that makes sense. So now we know which one it is. It wasn't even that one there, but I can check the other inner tie rod. I was looking at the outer tie rods like an idiot. That's okay. Let's go ahead and start taking things off. Let's go. You? Yeah, you got to come out first, don't you? Yeah, the whole wheel has to come off for this side. That's fine though. I also went into the options and I changed where it zooms in on every time you mount and dismount a part. So that's really cool. Very happy to see that. You'll notice that it's a little bit better with the camera views. We don't have to keep zooming in and zooming out over and over again, which is quite nice. It is quite nice indeed. Let's take the outer tie rod out. It's just one bolt. And the inner tie rod here. Actually, you know what we can do? Let me do that. Put it back. Nope. Let me put it back. I want to show you. So we know we got to replace that, right? So let's go right click on it. We'll add it to the list. So now we know what we need. That's all it is. Very, very simple stuff. Back to this unmount here. Let's take it out. All right, cool. So when we're done with that, we hit T. We'll go right here to the part shop. And we will go, look at here, our shopping list right there. Not bad, right? An inner tie rod. So let's just do that. Inner tie rod. Easy enough. It's right there. We just need one. And then we're still here at the car. So it's a lot quicker to do it this way. In you go. Outer tie rod. Yes, you can go there. Let's put that on like that. And we can put back on. All right, cool. This is all the car needed. Well, that was simple enough, right? Let's go ahead and drop it to the floor. There we go. And all the way down to the ground. Perfecto. All right, cool. Car status. They're happy with it. We can finish that order. That's all there was to that one. That one wasn't too bad. One thing I'm going to do before we get to our next one is clean this inventory out. I already did it once and then I forgot to save, so I'm going to do that real fast and then I'll be right back. Okay, now that that's cleared out, let's go back to the phone and here we go. We got a Salem Flamo. My car doesn't start, and even when it was working, the sounds it made were strange. Every morning I woke up the entire neighborhood. Please do something so it would work and not make such noise. That sounds interesting. He says the car won't even run. Check this thing out. It looks like a AMC Gremlin or a Ford Pinto more or so, I would say. Check it out though. You can open up doors. You can sit inside the car and look around. I do like the immersion you do get in this game. It's pretty neat. All right, let's pop out. Close the door. let's get this thing on the lift and try to figure out what's happening with it, because I have no idea. But we could probably look at the exhaust. That's somewhere to start. Also, not just the exhaust. Let's pop the hood here. It could be something to do with the ignition or engine. Now, before you guys tell me to use the OBD scan or anything like that, check it out. I don't have that many I don't have any skill points right now, and we're not even at a level 7 yet to where those are available to us. So we can't even do that if we wanted to, unfortunately. So we have to do it the old-fashioned way, which is kind of barbaric, but we have to take things off the car. So let's go ahead up in here, and I want to look at the exhaust back here and see what this is like before we do anything else. Click on the exhaust. I'm gonna go into inspection mode, examine mode, whatever you want to call it. Come on, where you at? Rear muffler. Yeah, pretty bad condition there. It takes a minute for it to register, but that's red. That's not good. The middle muffler is destroyed as well. So good. Yeah, 15%, 19%. And let's go up here and have a look at this one. The front exhaust section, it's not the worst, but it's not the best, that's for sure. And that makes sense because here is the front exhaust section, and then we have the exhaust manifold, which can be examined by taking off the car. We're going to have to do that. And somebody said it's not 14. As you can see right there, it's inline 4, so I4. And then SOHC is single overhead cam. So that's what that is. Now we know the muffler is completely destroyed. Now here is where we can really use the shopping list, which I really like. So we go back here to the rear muffler. We're gonna say, hey, okay, we're gonna need a rear muffler, right? Not you, but you. Right click, parts notes, add to the list. So now, see what, now here, this is what I'm talking about. If I right click and I go to the parts notes and I remove it, look, clears all of them. The inner tie rod I had on there. So now I'll add that to the list. And we can move on from there. All right, middle muffler, gonna need you as well. Let's add that to the parts list. All right, and I think we need to bring the engine down off the bit, down a little bit here, before we can take that off. So now that we checked out the exhaust, I'm happy knowing the exhaust is destroyed. So here we go. Go into the engine. I do want to take this off here. The exhaust manifold needs to come out because I think it's in terrible condition, but we can't tell until we take it off. That's a lot of bolts, man. But luckily, this guy's pretty quick with it. There we go. And it was in 65% condition, which is not great. However, I'm going to open the engine head cover up and check this out. I want to make sure everything's looking okay in here with camshafts and stuff. But to me, it sounds like an ignition problem, not just the problem of the other stuff. So actually, let's check it. Let's go to the car status menu. Middle muffler, rear muffler. See these little stars? I don't know what these all mean. I really don't know if it adds it to the shopping list or whatnot, but we already did that, so it shouldn't matter, you know, if I open the tablet up and open the shopping list. Yeah, see, they're on there regardless, so I don't know. Let's look in here. We didn't take the ignition wires off. Those were 65%. What about the spark plug? What's that one looking like? Terrible conditions. Here's our spark plugs are bad. Oh yeah, we're gonna need 4 of these because it's an inline 4. So let's go to part notes, add them to the list. We're gonna need 4 of those. That's 9%, and that one is 10%. I think that's our main issue. I really do. Let's look at the car status. Yeah, check it out. We're finding all these parts out here. Part not discovered, part not discovered. Okay, so still a little bit more to be worked on. What about the starter? What condition is that starter in? Sometimes the starter can be bad too. That's in 65%? Maybe. Maybe. Nope, it was fine. We can put it back on. I just wanted to make sure. Sometimes, you know, starters, they'll be a problem. They will be a problem. But while we have this completely taken apart here, let's do examine mode here and check the camshaft and all this other stuff. Let's go to the camshaft. Looks okay. It can be examined by taking off the timing could be bad too. You never know. That's 65%. It could be better, but you know, you never know. Intake manifold. Let's take it off the car. Yeah, we have to take all the stuff off the car. The throttle body looks okay. Fuel filter can be examined by a fuel pressure test, but let's just take it off then, because fuel filter, actually that looks like it's in terrible condition. 25%. That'll do her. Look at this. Fuel filter was bad on it. All right, so good to know. What I need to get in the habit of doing is this. Clicking on it, adding that to the parts list, because, you know, I want to have a nice shopping list here. We have a rail here, fuel rail. Let's see what that thing's in. I have to take it off the car. Okay, we can do that. We'll take the fuel filter off. We know it's bad. Fuel rail. What are you in? 65%, not too bad. What about this whole thing? Let's take the intake manifold. Oh, we have to take that off first. Throttle. The intake manifold is what? I'm just doing all this work on the top of the engine because I think you might find some bad parts in here. That was only 65%. That's really not that bad. Power steering pump. Ooh, the serpentine belt. Can we inspect that? It's okay. Taking off the car for that guy. I mean, we pretty much ripped this thing apart, trying to figure out what else there could be. Alternator, engine block. We know, no. That stuff's all good. Gearbox doesn't matter. What do we have down here left? That's all engine block. Oil filter could be bad too. Let's taking off the car. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say at this, you know, at this juncture what else could be wrong with it. But let's start with this little shopping list and we'll put it all back together. So first things first, we'll put the intake manifold back on. I mean, it's 65%. Sometimes, actually, before we do that, it'll show up on the parts list. So we need to make sure that that is not going to happen. Okay, that's fine. Because I've had it to where it does that, where it's like, oh, you know, it's at 80%. But it doesn't matter because you need to replace it. And it's not fun when that happens. So I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, cool. Put the throttle back on it. It didn't show up on the list, so I'm not worried about that. Put the fuel rail back on. That wasn't on the list, but the fuel filter was. All right. And I like how it's blue back there. Maybe that means that it's on the, uh-oh. Maybe that means that we have a parts list for it. Or I don't know. I really don't know what that means. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and open up our tablet here and let's go parts shopping. Here's our shopping list. We're going to need a rear muffler. So rear muffler, a V8 overhead valve. Where are we at? That one right there. Yep, one of those. We'll need a middle muffler. Middle muffler. This makes things go a lot faster, honestly. We need 4 spark plugs. Yep, that times 4. And a fuel filter. This makes it a lot easier having that shopping list. I do enjoy that. All right, engine. Let's put this stuff back in. Well, I'm really not sure what else it could be besides these spark plugs, but we're going to put them in there. In you go. Brand new. You too. We'll see what else he was talking about, because sometimes I've had a problem of, you know, that sound he's talking about being the radiator itself. So we'll see if that's the case. I mean, the manifold is fine. I think. Hold on a second. Before we do that, make sure it wasn't on here. Manifold. Nope, it was good. All right, good to know. I didn't want to make that mistake. I've done that so many times where you pull a part off and it's like, you know, the amount of damage to it is like nothing, but it's like, hey, you gotta have something brand new in there, brother. You can't just do whatever you want. I'll put the engine head cover back on it too. Doesn't need that. And we'll be able to put those wires back on. I do like how this isn't zooming in automatically, you know what I mean? There we go. Put the ignition wires back on. They were 65%. And I don't think they were bad, right? It's hard to remember that sometimes. I'm sorry if I... Oh, shit. Sorry if I keep doing that. Ignition wires were fine. Okay. They were. I had to make sure. Didn't want to be that guy where you're like, oh, what else could it be? All right, that's good. All right, let's check out this radiator because we need to take it off the car in order to examine it. And sometimes the radiator can be the problem. Nah, 65%. I'm not seeing that being a problem. Radiator's fine on this one. Okay, good to know. Put it back in. The timing cover. Something about the timing seems like it might be a problem. We'll have to read what else they were talking about here. Let's go ahead and put the new ignition or the new exhaust on. There we go. Let's go ahead and remove the rear muffler and remove the middle muffler. And I think that one was bad too, right? Front exhaust section. That's not what they wanted, right? Yeah, it was fine. Okay, cool. We just put in the new one. New middle muffler. And it looks really nice too when you do it. And the rear muffler looks good. All right, cool. All right, so what else could it be? Let's go ahead and drop this down and try to figure this one out together. We got... Nope, not you yet. Car status. Okay, part not discovered, part not discovered, part not discovered. What do they say? My car doesn't start. Even when it was working, the sounds it made were strange. Every morning I woke up, the entire neighborhood. Okay, that sounds like a serpentine belt to me. I think we might have a bad belt situation happening here. I didn't check that one, did I? I mean, it's in 65% condition. It could be it though, you know? It really could. What about this one? They're all yellow. They're not new. But I know that people wake up the neighborhood whenever they have a serpentine belt. So let's see if it shows up on the screen. Oh yeah, we have to take that off first, don't we? Oh, yeah. What am I doing? Being a dumbass? Okay, we'll take those off. 65, 65. Did they show up on the list? Nope. No one cares about the serpentine belt. What about the water pump? How's this thing looking? Have to take it off the car. Okay. Water pump. Let's see what condition this thing's in. 65%. What about the alternator? What you in? 65%. Not what we're looking for. Not what we're looking. Oh, crankshaft pulley. Can we examine that guy? 65%. It seems to be the main issue there with that. So I don't see that being the problem. Power steering pump. It could be one of those too. You never know. That is 65%. Everything's 65%. Oh. What is that? It was like turned red for a second there. Oh, engine block. Okay. The engine block on that was like turning red and I was like, okay. Okay, not that. I'm really not sure what it could be, to be perfectly honest with you. Let's go ahead and put those parts back on since it wasn't those. Power steering pump goes back in. And put the other ones on. Water pump was fine. The alternator was fine too. I mean, believe it or not, it was fine. All right, cool. So there's got to be something else happening here with this. Put you on, and we'll put you back on. Oil pan, accessible from under the car. We could try the oil filter. It could be something stupid like that. Well, I don't know. The only way you can really check the oil filter is if you look at it, you know? Just look at it. Okay. Why are those red? Those are fine. I don't think it's a whole... It's even remotely close to a suspension issue. I think it's something stupid. Can be examined by taking off the car. All right, we'll take it off the car. It was 65%. So it's fine. What the hell could it be? Making all this noise. It would be an exhaust issue. Although, we already searched that thing. Unless they want us to take it off. Yeah, it's 65%. You got me on that one. I'm gonna keep a looking. We'll see if we find something. Still haven't found anything else. I'm gonna go ahead and put the fuel filter in here. I think we're happy with that. What else? It's just it's 3 parts, and they're gonna probably be near each other, I would imagine. Considering they want a oil change. Okay, maybe that's what we need here then. Well, that'll be cool. Let's go ahead and lift it up. We'll get the oil drain. We're gonna move that underneath the car. We're going to drain it of oil. There goes all the oil, just like that. And we're gonna put that back where we got it. All right. And I'm thinking, I am really starting to believe it could be this oil filter needs to come off. So let's see if that is part of the issue here. Yeah, part not discovered, they say. All right, well, I'm not really worried about it. We're going to refill it up anyway. It just blows me away. They just want me to change the oil in it. I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world to do. Let's go ahead and close that. Oh wait, I didn't put the filter back on, duh. Which in reality, you would change out the oil filter every time, but we don't need to do that on this because it's weirdly not a priority. I don't know why that is, but they don't care about the oil filter being a thing, so I'm not going to worry about it myself. Let's bring it down. Let's put the new oil in the car. Make that part of it happy. Because this is really starting to blow me away. I'm like, I don't know what it could be, dude. And somebody said once its thing tips back, then that's more than enough oil, so you don't have to wait for it to splash, so I like that. I'll just do that. That's what they say works, and I will trust them. All right, what else now? All right, that's been done. Yep, 3 more parts we got to find. Well, let's keep it digging. You know what? I'm going to remove the battery and see if that's an issue. 7%. There's one of the problems. It was a battery. Should have known better. It was a stupid battery. Okay, well, now we know that, so let's go ahead and order a new battery. That's easy enough. I don't even need that on a list. We'll just order a battery for this thing. We'll throw that in here real quick. It's always something stupid like that. Okay, battery goes in, and we are happy with that. So, all we have left is 2 more parts. I need to find 2 more parts of this thing. Fuel pump was 9%. What about the fuel tank? Okay, 65% on that. So let's go ahead and mount the fuel tank back in, but we know the fuel pump is bad. So, fuel pump, we're gonna add you to the list of things we need for the car. And let's go ahead and open this up. We'll put a new fuel pump in this thing. I was trying to think of of other things that, you know, may cause the issue of it not starting. That would definitely be one of them. So let's go ahead and put that in. The brand new fuel pump. And what else we got? There's 1 more part to discover. Ignition coil. I'm ripping this whole engine apart, and I bet you it's the ignition coil. That's what it was. The ignition coil, ladies and gentlemen. So we get to put this engine back together. Woohoo! Ignition coil. You learn something new every day. I was like, man, I had no idea. Yep, inline 4 single overhead cam. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Let's put it all back together now. In you go, you bastard. That's what it was. Oh my lord. Let's put the camshaft back to you. Yeah, we'll put those in there, ignition wires. And look what I was doing. I was going through the whole engine. I was like, you know what? It's got to be here somewhere, man. It has to be here somewhere. Let's put this back in. You can see I took the timing apart. I was like, man, maybe the timing was bad on it. I didn't even know that ignition coil was there. I was like, there's got to be something here, man. There's got to be something. And it was. It was definitely here. Let's put the belt tensioner back in. Put all the throttle back on. That's fine with me. We'll put the timing cover back on. Yep, you go in. And then we'll put the crankshaft pulley goes in. The idler. Oh, where you at? Come on down. Oh, there it is right there. 1 bolt. 1 bolt. The idle roller goes in. 1 bolt for you. All right. Now we can put those serpentine belts back on as well. We'll put these back on as the little not the engine heads, but the camshaft caps. Put those bad boys back in. Yeah, I was like really testing everything, and I was like, you know what? It's got to be something on the engine preventing this thing from starting, and that's what it was. So some of you mechanics at home, I'm sorry if you were, you know, shouting at me. It's clearly the ignition coil, you dumbass. Well, it happens. You work on so many cars, you know, you start to go, really? What is it? But now I know. We'll put this back together, and they're going to be happy. We found the ignition coil. We found the problem, and that's what I said initially. I remember I was like, the ignition has got to be the issue here. It was a muffler and ignition, though. All right, what else do we have in our inventory? We shouldn't have very much in our inventory. Let's see. We've got the old spark plugs and the other garbage. So it is done. Yes, it is done. Close that hood. We can fire this baby up and call it a day on this car. I'm pretty happy with that. Right click, boom, finish the order. Yeehaw. Well, that was a fun one. That was a fun one. Let me know if you guys want to see more Car Mechanic Simulator in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.